Hello, and welcome to my channel, where I mostly share my love of fragrance and enjoying my collection. In this video, I'll be reviewing the new Gilded Gala holiday collection from Victoria's Secret. Thank you so much for stopping by, and let's get started. The next group of holiday scents that I have from Victoria's Secret is the Gilded Gala collection. I was able to pick this up a little early in store, but it's also now available online. I've already reviewed the Après Snow and Pink Bubbly holiday collections, and I'll link those videos in the description box if you want to check them out, along with my preview video of all VS holiday fragrance collections. There are 4 new scents in the Gilded Gala collection, and I picked up all of the fragrance mists and a couple of body lotions. I think that the mist packaging is pretty and on theme, with jewel tones and a brushed gold look. The lotion packaging is also nice, with fruity and floral accents on a dark background. The collection includes Ginger Apple Jewel, described as bright ginger mingles with apple musk and cranberry, a luminous atmosphere. Vanilla Amber Bourbon, described as vanilla amber stirs into smooth bourbon and orchid, an indulgent spirit. Sugar Plum Fig, described as sugared fig dances with cinnamon orange and rose, a festive melody. And Santal Berry Silk, described as frothy sandalwood luxuriates in blackberry espresso and almond, an opulent celebration. And now let's get on to the reviews. The first scent in the collection is Ginger Apple Jewel, which comes in the bottle with the red gradient. And this has notes of bright ginger, musky apple, and tart cranberry. And this opens very strong, with sharp, zesty ginger and the tart cranberry. There's also an underlying sweet apple, but it's mostly bright and has a sort of fizzy feeling. The sharpness softens a bit as it dries, and I get a nice mix of the fruits with a bit of sweetness. This scent feels pretty straightforward, and to me, it's like a cranberry ginger cocktail sweetened by some apple, sort of like a twist on a Moscow Mule. It's bright and fizzy, and it does feel very festive. I think the scent is pleasant enough, but I'm not sure how often I'll want to smell like this. And for comparisons, first I have Apple Dream from VS Pink, with notes of golden delicious apple, gloss candy coating, and autumn amber. And this is a sweet candy apple scent that's more syrupy than sugary, and it has a sort of tartness to it. The sweet candy smells sort of like a Jolly Rancher, and the scent also has a warm, almost spicy quality from the amber. I don't have a lot of apple scents from VS, so I wanted to include this one, which is still currently available. Other than both having apple, these aren't too similar. Apple Dream is sweet, warm, and candy-like, while Ginger Apple Jewel is bright and fizzy and sharp. Next is Bath & Body Works Winter Candy Apple, which has notes of red apples, winter rose petals, candied oranges, maple leaf, and fresh cinnamon. And this is a spicy, fruity scent that smells like apple cider with a cinnamon stick in it. There is a floral aspect from the rose, and some brightness from the candied orange, and overall, it just reminds me of Christmas. These are both bright and smell like holiday beverages, but Winter Candy Apple is more spicy with the prominent cinnamon, while Ginger Apple Jewel is more zesty citrus and tart cranberry. Then I have Bath & Body Works Frosted Cranberry, and this one doesn't have notes on it, but if it matches the other products, they should be iced cranberries, blonde woods, red apple, and tonka bean. It has tart cranberry and a little sweet apple, but it's also very woody. The tonka adds some sweetness, but it's more fruity than sweet, and it has a wintry feel. These share the cranberry and apple, and both have a sharpness to them, but Frosted Cranberry is more woody, with cranberry being the stronger fruit, while Ginger Apple Jewel is brighter and predominantly citrus. The next scent in the collection is Vanilla Amber Bourbon, which comes in the bottle with the brown gradient. And this has notes of vanilla amber, smooth bourbon, and orchid petals. And this opens with a warm, silky amber, which is a bit surprising as I expected to be hit with more of a vanilla. There is a booziness, and I think the smooth description is very apt, as it's not at all sharp, and it doesn't feel smoky, but maybe has a hint of woods, and it really has a caramel-like quality. The orchid adds a soft floral, but I wouldn't say this is a floral-forward scent. And as it dries, it continues to sweeten and also has a lightly powdery quality. To me, this is a warm ambery floral with touches of vanilla and bourbon. It has a nice caramelized vanilla sweetness, as well as a touch of powder. At first, I was a bit disappointed, as I was expecting more of a rich vanilla, but they did name this appropriately, as it is an amber scent that has a vanillic quality. After a few minutes, the amber was sweetened by the caramelly bourbon and vanilla, and then I really started to like it. It has an elevated feel, and it's just warm and sweet and comforting, and I think it's probably going to be the standout in the line. I also picked up the body lotion for Vanilla Amber Bourbon, and it has the same warm, silky amber as the fragrance mist. It also has the caramelly bourbon and felt a bit woody at first, but it doesn't feel as boozy overall, and the floral note is a bit stronger. It's sweet and creamy and vanillic, and I think it will add to the richness of the mist. And for comps, first I have Bare Vanilla Decadent from Victoria's Secret, which has notes of glowing amber and vanilla bean. And this is a warm, ambery vanilla that feels very rich and sweet. The vanilla is more fresh, but also has a slightly syrupy feel, and the amber adds a lot of warmth and a bit of a powdery quality. These are both warm amber scents with vanilla and some powderiness, but Bare Vanilla Decadent has stronger vanilla and is a bit sweeter, while Vanilla Amber Bourbon has more prominent amber and more of a caramel sweetness. Next is Victoria's Secret's Bare Vanilla Crystal, with notes of radiant amber and vanilla musk. And this is a sweet, slightly sugary vanilla with a warm amber. It feels light for a vanilla scent, which I guess is the musk, and it also has a bit of what seems like citrusy brightness. These share the amber and vanilla, and are both sweet and warm, but Bare Vanilla Crystal is brighter and feels a little sugary, while Vanilla Amber Bourbon is warmer and has the touch of floral. Then I have Bath & Body Works Cozy Vanilla Bourbon, which has notes of warm bourbon, dark fruit, and vanilla liqueur. And this is a warm vanilla with hints of fruit and a slightly syrupy boozy note. It doesn't feel overly alcoholic, as the bourbon and vanilla liqueur feel more syrupy and a bit woody, as well as being very vanillic. It has a dark quality and a soft, creamy vanilla sweetness, with a bit of a toasted quality. These both have vanilla and bourbon, but Cozy Vanilla Bourbon is sweeter and more vanillic, while Vanilla Amber Bourbon is more ambery and warm. And the next scent in the collection is Sugar Plum Fig, which comes in the bottle with the purple gradient. And this has notes of sugared fig, cinnamon orange, and delicate rose. And this opens with a fruity mix of sweet fig and orange. It also feels warm and has a soft, spicy cinnamon. The rose feels fresh and slightly green, but has some sweetness as well. And sugar plum scents always sound good, but since it isn't a real ingredient, it's hard to know what they'll actually be like. I'm always expecting something sweet and sugary, and that's usually not what I get, like last year's iced sugar plum from Bath & Body Works, which by the way smells nothing like this one. To me, this is a fruity floral with an emphasis on the floral. The rose feels most prominent, but it's not overbearing, and it has nice touches of dark sweet fig and spiced citrus. It does have fruity sweetness, but it's not super sweet, with just hints of a sugary feel. I do like this one, but I think it's not going to be for everyone. I also found it to be pretty light, noticeably more so than the others in this collection. If you like rose or scents sweetened with fig, you may want to give this one a try. As far as the body lotion for Sugar Plum Fig, it has a similar fresh rose, sweet fig, and spiced orange as the fragrance mist. The scent overall is creamier and I think sweeter than the mist. Layering them together should add some additional sweetness if you think the mist isn't quite sweet enough. And as far as comps, I don't think I have anything really similar, but I'll show you how this compares to a couple other fig scents, starting with Vanilla Dusk from Victoria's Secret, which has notes of Tahitian vanilla and honeyed fig. And this is a mix of warm, sugary vanilla and sweet, fleshy fig. It does have a honeyed sweetness, and it's just really sweet and delicious. These both have sweet fig, but Vanilla Dusk is much sweeter and vanilla heavy, while Sugar Plum Fig is more floral and has some spiciness. Next is Sweet Fig from VS Pink, with notes of purple fig and vanilla honey. And this is a really sweet honeyed fig scent with a vanillic quality. It has some brightness, but is overall just really sweet, with the honey overtaking the fig a bit. These share the fig, but Sweet Fig is more honeyed and much sweeter, while Sugar Plum Fig is more spicy and floral. Then I have Bath & Body Works Brown Sugar and Fig, and this has notes of fresh fig, coconut milk, and caramelized brown sugar. And this one is a favorite of mine. It has a very sweet, ripe, juicy fig, as well as the gooey caramelized brown sugar. There's also a lactonic quality that to me doesn't feel very coconutty. It just has a creamy, milky sweetness. These again both have sweet fig, but brown sugar and fig is more sugary and creamy, and doesn't have the heavy floral or spiced citrus of Sugar Plum Fig. And the last scent in the collection is Santal Berry Silk, which comes in the bottle with the dark green gradient. And this has notes of frothy sandalwood, blackberry espresso, and aromatic almond. And this opens very warm and woody, along with a coffee note. There's a hint of the blackberry, but it's more focused on the espresso and sandalwood. And when the almond comes in, it's more nutty and green than sweet. I was hoping for more of the blackberry, but it's mostly just woody and almondy. But as it dries, the coffee does get a bit creamier and the scent gets sweeter. To me, this is an aromatic woody scent with coffee and almond, and just a hint of dark berry. It's very sandalwood heavy and feels unisex, and while it does have some sweetness, it's a bit too woody and aromatic for my liking. I usually like almond scents, but this one feels dominated by the other notes, though I will say when it's fully dried down, the sweetness is a bit more appealing. If you like sandalwood, you may want to give this a try, but I don't think this one is for me. I don't dislike the dry down, but I feel like I have so many other scents where I like everything, so I don't need to put up with notes that I find a bit off-putting. And for comps, first I have Autumn Shore from Victoria's Secret, with notes of vanilla smoke, iced coffee, and smooth sandalwood. And this is a toasted marshmallow latte scent with a silky woody base. It has rich coffee and warm, sweet sandalwood, and just a hint of smokiness. It's very vanillic and marshmallowy without being too powdery. These share the sandalwood and coffee, but Autumn Shore is much sweeter and more vanillic, so I do prefer it to Santal Berry Silk. Next is Amaretto Fizz from Victoria's Secret, which has notes of almond coffee, orange blossom, and caramel drizzle. And this is a sweet almondy floral with heady orange blossom and a subtle coffee note. The nutty almond feels fresh and sweet, and I'd say the floral is most prominent in the scent. These both have almond and coffee, but Amaretto Fizz is more floral and has sweeter almond, while Santal Berry Silk is more woody with stronger coffee. And lastly, I have Berry Santal from Victoria's Secret, with notes of juicy blackcurrant, soft sandalwood, and fresh bergamot. And this is a syrupy berry scent with warm sandalwood. It has dark juicy berries that have a sugary candy-like feel, but also has some brightness. There's a bit of greenness as well as some powderiness, but the scent isn't overly sweet. These share the sandalwood and dark berries, but Berry Santal has a much stronger berry focus, while Santal Berry Silk is heavier on the almond and coffee. Overall, I think that this collection is okay, but there aren't a lot of standout scents for me. I do really like the packaging and gilded theme though. If I had to rank these, the bottom two would be Santal Berry Silk and Ginger Apple Jewel. While I like almond and coffee, I just find the sandalwood and Santal Berry Silk to be kind of oppressive, and it takes a while to get to a sweetness that I like. I also think the berry feels almost non-existent. And Ginger Apple Jewel is a fun, fizzy, fruity cocktail with a nice mix of ginger and cranberry, but it's kind of one note and it doesn't feel like something I'd reach for a lot. Then Sugar Plum Fig would be in my top two, with its fresh rose and spiced citrus. I like the sweet fig, but I wish it was more prominent, and the scent also is pretty light after it dries down. And that leaves Vanilla Amber Bourbon as my far and away favorite. It's a beautiful warm, ambery floral with a delicious caramel bourbon sweetness. It has a vanillic quality and a touch of powderiness, and it's the only scent in the collection that I would say I love. As far as strength, all of them seem decently strong except for Sugar Plum Fig, which faded a lot faster than the others. I tested that one third, and by the time I got to the fourth, it was pretty much gone, while the others I tested earlier were still going strong. So that's it for my review of the Gilded Gala collection from Victoria's Secret. Let me know what you think of these scents and if you're going to give any of them a try. Thank you for watching. I hope that you'll subscribe, and I'll see you in my next video.